Hi. Um, I don't totally know how to start this. I've never really done anything like this before. Um, I guess I just have realized that I'm at a very strange turning point in my life, and I really want to do something to document it. If you can't tell by the really bare surroundings that I'm in, I'm moving tomorrow, actually. Um, I'm not super happy about it, honestly. I really would have loved to stay in this apartment because I really like it, but it just wasn't doable. Um, and I really like the place that I found that will replace it, but this was also kind of the first place I've lived in the city that really felt like home. And so it is sad that I'm going to be losing that I'm going to be living with a different group of roommates as well. Um, and I guess just in the weeks leading up to this, I've just thought so many times, like, I'm not ready to move on. I'm not ready to move on. Like, I just badly wanted time to stop because I wasn't ready for it to keep going forward. And, I've been pretty miserable for the last 2 months, actually, but especially the last 2 weeks have really taken a very big toll on me, more than I think most other times in my life. And it's not just because of moving. There's been a lot of other things going on as well. Can't forget to mention the fact that I was broken up with and have dealt with some very tough self-esteem issues since then, that have come to manifest themselves in ways that I don't really know how to handle, and I'm kind of still learning to grapple with. And especially throughout these past 2 weeks, I just kept thinking, like, I'm not ready, I'm not ready, I'm not ready. Like, I wanted time to stop so badly. I wanted to go home to my parents' house and just lay in a dark room until I finally got the courage to face the world again. And I mean, even just in the last bit of time, I definitely had a lot of time just to myself, just to be sitting and thinking. And sometimes that's a really good thing. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it makes me spiral in really unhealthy ways. But I guess I kind of felt like it reached a point where it had gotten so difficult to hold myself together. I ended up having a complete breakdown in the middle of a work shift, and I felt really awful about it, and I was trying so hard to hold myself together to not, I guess, seem like I'm bringing everybody else down. But I hit a point where I just completely cracked, essentially, and my supervisor sent me home, and I felt really, really shitty about it. But I ended up taking some time to recover, which was really nice. And I did find that to be genuinely quite helpful for me. And then, of course, I went back the next day, and things got worse again pretty quickly. Right now, I would say things are a bit better than they have been. Spent a lot of time with my only roommate that's still here, that hasn't moved out, that, we've been pretty good friends for a few years now, but I feel like especially in the last few weeks, we've definitely gotten even closer. And that felt good. I feel like that kind of is one of the most genuine connections that I have here. That's definitely something I struggle with a lot. I grew up in South Carolina, and I live in Boston now, and my closest friends are still closer down to the south, and I'm not. Other than that, the rest of my closest friends are online in entirely different parts of the world. So I'm actually not, like, confident that I have a single American close friend. That's not true. I have American friends, but, nobody that I would say, like, absolutely my people, But yeah, I struggle a lot with that feeling of feeling disconnected from the world. And to be honest, I'm really bad at making new relationships in person. I would say I have one friend here that I really feel like I can trust with just about anything. And, you know, she's like super precious to me, but I also feel like I know that I'm not going to be living in Boston for the rest of my life. What happens when we don't live in the same city anymore? I worry that that most of my connections here will just disappear, and like maybe we'll keep up over text eventually, but it's nothing at the level of the bonds that I was able to make in South Carolina. I guess things were a lot simpler then. I keep thinking back to that time and wishing I could just go back and put myself there permanently. I can't ever move back home for multiple reasons, but even if I did, it wouldn't be the same. And I know that, and in a sense, it's kind of like I've just had to accept that. I mean, it kind of ties back to that feeling I was talking about earlier. It just feels like the world moved on without me when I wasn't ready for it. And granted, I've also changed in a lot of ways since then. Definitely, if you know me, you know that I'm a very, very different person now than I used to be in multiple ways. Again, not that I think I will be sharing this video with anybody that I know personally, but I don't know. It's really tough to just think back, and I feel lost, you know, like no matter what I do, and no matter how much I try to keep up with the world, I'm always gonna get left behind. And I feel like I'm never ready for the changes that life throws at me. I think I said earlier, this is a really weird time in my life right now, not only just because I'm moving, but this is kind of just the catalyst for multiple things. One of the biggest being that this is my senior year of college. Almost certainly the last year of education I will ever have. And I don't know how I got here so fast. I mean, I obviously knew this day was coming. And in some ways I feel like I am somewhat ready to face beyond that, but in others I feel completely hopeless, completely unprepared. And I just really wish I could just halt everything and just live in one moment. But I don't think that'll ever happen. And I'm really kind of struggling to cope with that, I guess. I don't know why I said I think it'll never happen. Obviously, it'll never happen. But it's something that I definitely am struggling to, like, kind of deal with, is that no matter... I've just realized my phone has been slipping this entire time. Anyways, that's one thing that I've kind of come to realize, is that no matter how comfortable I get, it feels like the rug will always be slipped out from under me. And I never feel like I'm ready for it, or how to prepare for the changes that come with life, because I know that it is just a part of life. But it's one that I'm really bad at handling, in all honesty. And I don't really know what to do about it. I guess I would say, looking forward to, I guess, this next part of my life, I guess I could say, I'm trying to be somewhat optimistic about it. On one hand, it's very difficult to picture myself in the future much at all, honestly. It's something I've really been struggling with. I don't know about most of my life, because most of my life I never bothered, but ever since I really remember having to think, like, where is my life gonna be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years? Like, I draw a complete blank. And for a lot of that, I felt like it was because I had no idea who I really was. I don't just mean that in the sense of I was trans and didn't know it. I mean, I didn't really have a good grasp of my own identity as a person, not in any sort of label. I didn't really know myself. And so I kind of attributed it to that for a while, but I'm honestly at a point where I feel like I do have a pretty good grasp on myself and who I am, but I still feel so lost anyway. And I don't know what to do about it. I don't know how to stop feeling like I'm gonna be left behind by the world itself, by the people in my life, by just about everything, I guess. I feel completely unprepared to face the future in just about every way. But I guess I think back to where I was about a year ago, moving into this apartment for the first time, having set the goal to myself that I was going to be out as a trans person and not hide it anymore. I feel like in some ways that was a lot scarier. In other ways, not nearly as scary. And in other ways, it challenged me in ways that I had never experienced before. Not just the being out as a trans person, but also, like, for example, living off campus, being even more on my own than, like, during my first 2 years in school where I was living in dorms. But I think I was more, like, scared shitless at that point of, like, I was genuinely struggling to get up because I was so scared about what I was gonna do. And I'm not gonna lie, I've hit that point a couple times in the last weeks as well. But I guess the reason it doesn't feel as bad now, I guess, it still feels really fucking bad, don't mistake me, but I guess the reason I don't have as, like, much of a overtly pessimistic outlook, god damn it, this phone. If I ever do something like this again, I hopefully won't have to record on my phone. Just everything's in bags right now. Like, I don't know what to, I got nothing else. But I guess the thing that doesn't make it feel as paralyzing is just, I made it. I made it this past year. Even on some days where I really didn't want to be here anymore. I made it through. And even though it challenged me in ways that I was completely unprepared for, it also brought me a lot of amazing experiences that I never really would have expected. And so even though it has been a wild roller coaster of extremely high ups and extremely low downs, probably the most of either for my entire life, to be completely honest, I don't know what the future holds. And I think that's like what is so scary about it to me, is that I feel like there's almost no way to prepare for it. And it just, I mean, I keep saying I'm lost over and over, but that really is the overwhelming feeling of, like, I just, I don't know what other word to use. I feel lost. So I'm moving out tomorrow. In actually 9 hours exactly, I'm moving out. And, you know, I'm not thrilled about it, like I said at the start of this, but I guess I'm not necessarily convinced that my life is going to be awful from this point onwards. And I've definitely felt like that at multiple times before. I guess I've proved to myself I can make it, which is a good thing. I might be saying something very different if I recorded this on a different night. I guess I'm feeling somewhat good right now, even if getting mildly sick. Yeah, I just wanted some place to, I guess, kind of document where my head is at heading into this next year, heading into the next portion of life. I don't know if I'll make any more videos like this, but I just wanted to, like I said, document this, get it out there. Hope that it resonates with some people. Yeah. If you did watch it, thank you. Yeah, I need to go to sleep.